Hello?
This call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes.
Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I know a guy who used to collect hellos. Hello? Call someone up, and they'd say, hello? And that's all they'd have to hear. He just recorded hellos. Hello? And all kinds of hellos.
Hello?
Some highs. Hi. Who is it? Hi.
Leave a message.
Hello? Hello?
I'll get back to you.
Hello? Inside my brain, where fantasies play hide and seek. Essentially, my little cells go giddy glad, with sudden kinds of going mad that lift me up and let me slip beyond the stiff of upper lip. Or even now, in what I call my only hope, so tiny, small, no microscope would even try to get inside, to magnify that inner place where shadows play my sunshine game of hideaway.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into...
Tiny House Live.
Hey baby, it's a brand new year. You're right here with me on Tiny House Live, beginning of season 7, episode 1. It's a brand new year, baby, and you're welcome. Oh, you know, we've got some things going on this year, and right now you're wondering to yourself, you know, where is the professor and all this? Well, not this tiny being we're speaking to, but the professor. Well, he tells me that he's in the middle of discovering a brand new steampunk laboratory. And that's where we're going to go here in just a second to check out the professor's new steampunk laboratory. And from there, well, he tells me he has a plan. But right now, I understand he's in that... Wait a minute. Oh my goodness, the professor is reading a book. A book. Something is amiss. Something is afoot. The professor's reading a book. Let's go check out this new steampunk laboratory. Hello, Mackenzie. Ooh.
Oh, the places you'll go. Dr. Seuss. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy who will decide where to go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my Tiny House Live. Let me turn off the, here we go. Welcome. Good evening to you, my friends. Here you are, right here high in the hills of Petticoat with your friend, the professor, in his new steampunk laboratory. Every year, yes, my environment seems to get larger and larger. I don't know why. Season 7 now. Hello, I got people checking in. Fantastic. Tonight's a fun night for me. Do you know why? Have you any idea why? Because half the time I'm juggling people playing guitars, making sure my guests are fed and have all kinds of requirements that they have on their riders when they come in. Those riders can be long, I'm telling you. Especially that Eric Martin guy. My gosh, the hoops I've got to jump through to get him here. Not at all. Couldn't be any easier. But I will tell you here tonight, yes, this is the season 7 premiere of 7. Yes. And you know what I like to do each year? By the way, look around a little bit. I've got my new steampunk laboratory. I'm enjoying it. Before I even dive into all this fun stuff I've got for us tonight, and I've got some, I'll tell you about it in a second. I just want to say hello to some friends who've been helping me a lot already. Glad to see you already here with me. Hello, Phoenixia. I know who you are. And Tara, hello. Tia, great to see you here with me already. Isis, I count on you, girl. And where's Lady? She's not here yet. She'll be. Oh, there she is. People be checking in. I love it tonight. Tiny House Live, right here with your professor. Hi, once again in the hills of Petticoat. Before I start off too much tonight's going to be a casual night. I've got some videos to play. I do have a couple Eric Martin things because Eric was my guest last week, and I need to play a little catch up. We're going to have the last Christmas song of the season coming up soon. You're gonna love that. I know you are. If you haven't seen the entire show from last week, it's available. I'll be cluing you in on all these little its and bits and parts and teeny bits parts of how to connect with me later. But right now, I just want to tell you, I'm just glad to have you here with me. It's a tiny house. Right here. Hello, Laura. Good to see you. Kelly Shannon, glad you're here. She says, hey, Professor. Tia, fantastic. Laura, I love it. It's fantastic. Glad to have you here in my tiny house, checking in. And I've got some, are you enjoying my little steampunk laboratory? I have. I've been looking ways to increase the size of my, because it is all about size when it comes down to your laboratory. And as you see, I've been working hard. I've got a lot of new treats for us is coming up in season 7. Tonight, tonight's just kind of a chance to lay back a little bit and chat with you. And the little baby who came in, you like him? I like him. He's my little baby. Baby New Year. Hello, Tara. Great, Professor. I'm checking in. I love it. Chicago. The Chicago cousins are in the house. Don't you love it? Before we go too far, I'm sorry. I gotta stop the show. Hold on. I have a toast to Betty White. Are you with me? To Betty White. I love you, dear. God, she's inspired me in animals and music and just stage personality and all that. Betty White, right there. Let me drink a sip. Come on, man. If you got something, now's the time. Great. Fantastic. Where were we? That's right. We were back here in my tiny house, and as I mentioned, I had some great guests last week. I've got a couple edits from that show that I want to show you tonight. We're going to close out Christmas officially tonight, I've edited out the Christmas song that Mark Hawley and Eric Martin sang last week on Tiny House Live. I have that to give to you tonight. I have a wonderful little mashup. Your professor makes mashups, and that's where this is all going to start tonight, because I like to say to myself in the beginning of my seasons, it's time to retrospect a little bit and let you know where you are, how we got here, how I got here, for God's sakes. And it had to do with fires and COVID and all that, and time recluse and being able to invest into a laboratory of steampunk gear. But that being said, I've just had a really good chance in the last few years to develop my Tiny House Live. And I each one of you who are watching right now, I love you dearly for checking in with me, seeing what I'm doing each week. As you may have found out, I have lots of people coming in to visit me each week who are incredible musicians. And yes, Eric Martin may be at the top of some of my list of people I've got coming in, but only because he's a world traveler, you know, and I've got people who are local based and San Francisco based. And that being said, you should know that I'm kind of based within 50 mile north of San Francisco. So I have access to a lot of the Bay Area talent. I've been a sound engineer and a production manager for the Mystic Theater, a large concert venue in Sonoma County, for 16 years until I retired from all that craziness to do this right here, like this is any more sane. But at least I'm in control of my own time and space as much as that is possible. And I can invite you into my world each week and see my magical little ciphers on the board behind me that I write out each week to make sure that it's over on the side, isn't it? I forgot my chalkboard was. Oh my goodness. Welcome to my tiny house. Mark Hawley's already checked in. Mark, I've got a Christmas song tonight, Mark, you know, and Mark Hawley was on. Thank you, Mark, for all your input last week. Baba Dooey doing all the interception for all the Facebook connections with you folks last week as Eric and I just bounced off each other here at Tiny House Live. And Mark was over there steering us in the right direction. Thank you, Mark, for doing that. I appreciate you. Good to see you checking in tonight. Maybe Eric will check in. What do you know? I should have. He knows this is going on. If he doesn't see it now, he'll see it later, I'm sure. Because where are we right now?
Tiny House Live.
That's right.
Tiny House Live.
That's right. Tiny House Live. And I've got a couple things for you, including a mashup. Now, your professor's been involved in a lot of stuff locally within production management of larger venues, and one of them was the music video theater, the Mystic Theater, and they had a large screen, 30 by 50. I had to fill that screen, so I had to make music video syncs that would fill the time space before doors opened, and people loved it. And they'd walk in and there'd be something on the screen. Made sense to me, being a movie theater, and I developed lots of movie music video syncs. I have something for you later on that has, yes, it's a disco sync. Yes, it's Stark Raving Mad. Yes, it's Eric Martin. He's never seen it. Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody, even I've only seen it, maybe 5 times. It's really fun. And it'll be a mashup. It'll be toward the mid to latter part of our show tonight, just to keep you hanging on for something that nobody's ever seen. Eric will see this and laugh about it later. Did I mention it was disco? Well, you know, it's been known before that I've actually gotten Eric in trouble before by playing something like maybe a. I'll save it. I'll save it. I've got a jazz segment that I used to him that I played the time before last. Know that all these shows you're seeing live, whether it's live right now on Tiny House Live, ViralMediaArt is my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I'm doing my best to build it up to where I can actually be legitimate, monetize this site, get out to a broader audience, put up a super chat, and have all kinds of fun all around the world, which I'm already reaching out fairly well to. So thanks each and every one of you from all around the world, whether it's Brazil, Mexico, Iceland, Europe. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Tiny House is getting bigger all the time, and it has a lot to do with you. It really does. It really does. It's a community we're building, and I love it. Right? Right? That's right. And it's a new year, baby. That's enough right there for you. Let me go over here on the little track over here and see if I can catch up, because tonight's a chance for me to talk to people. You got any questions you want to ask? You know, you want to know more about last week's show? You want to know more about, I don't know, life in Northern California? The music business in Northern California. What's going on? What the hell's going on in California anyway? I can maybe give you a clue. So Canada, hello, Tara. Canada's checked in. See, I mentioned that already. I love you. Thanks for looking southerly down the coast to us. I'm familiar with Whistler intimately, so good to have you here with me. Summer, what's up? What is up? What is up? We're going to find out tonight, because I do have some special things for you tonight planned. A lot of it. Did I already toast Betty White? I'll do it again. Betty White. Darn it. I'm a very large animal activist myself, so I appreciate her work in that realm, as well as all the amazing things she's done on TV, of course. God, what an icon, Betty White. Thank you, dear. Let's see, where am I going to take you tonight? Oh my gosh, I do have a course planned. I'm wondering if I should jump there. Have I told you enough? Well, I told you a little bit about the past of Tiny House Live. We're now in season 7, and in each season for me, I get about 2 seasons a year. I try to imitate television. I'm a TV generation guy. I like to take what I know best that I loved from watching television and bring it forward to this medium, which I think makes much more sense to me. It's interactive. We can chat. We can talk. I can look over and say, hello, Summer, and all those people converting back and forth. That's what this is about. It's community. Tonight I'm here by myself. I don't have somebody interpreting. I don't have a guest. So, any questions you want to ask me tonight, you are more than welcome to. It's a good chance to chime in and let me know what's going on. And I love that. To me, that's fun. Just you and me tonight. I'm watching you. All right. Pretty casual tonight. I'm enjoying that. You like my new steampunk library? I got a book back there. Yes, I have been reading a book. I've been reading Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go." It's very topical for me this time of year right now, the beginning of the new year coming up. I'm trying to reevaluate my life and purpose and where I'm going in life myself. It's an amazing journey here in California in the midst of COVID, trying to get out of it and trying to get back into the club life that I've made a living at for the last 30 to 40 years in this Northern California location. And it ain't there yet. A question here, I'm asked. After the show last week, did Eric find his keys? Who said that, Isis? Yes, he did find his keys. That's why he's not here tonight. Honestly, if he couldn't have found his keys, I would have just invited him over. And as small as my tiny house is, I still would have worked it out for him to be here to hang on until we found those keys. So, and he did get his water bottle back. He got his thermos back, which he'd been missing infinitely from what I understand. So, yes, he found his keys. I suggested he do what I do. I take my keys and I wear them on a little thing around my belt loop of my pants. Because that way, to lose my keys, I have to lose my pants. And if I lose my pants, well, I deserve to lose my keys, right? Where are we anyway? Tiny House Live. Tiny House Live. Word from the professor. It's all about setting up strategery in your life. There you go. What are we saying over here? Hello, Diane. Hello, Summer. Hello, Tia. Good to have you here. Hey, Mark knows a lot about what happened last week. We could ask him some questions, too. That would be fun. It's almost like he's here with me tonight. I'm liking that. I've got a Christmas song. We're going to wrap up. Matter of fact, I want to do that now. I think it's time we do that. Let's bring in the last round of Christmas that we're going to have this year because, at some point, enough Christmas. But that's not the moment here. Right now, I've got a great, fantastic Christmas song that I need to make sure you've seen. If you haven't seen the entire episode of last week with Eric Martin's Off-White Christmas with Eric Martin and Mark Hawley here in my tiny house, it's available. Always available on demand, live in the moment like you are right now, or on demand at a later point when you wake up in the morning because you live in Brazil. It's all good. I'm glad you're here with me. Whatever time, scope, and frame you are, if you know one thing about Tiny House Live, it's just that I defy all time and space. There, I've told you my intent and purpose. It's a little like Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's a little like maybe Craig Ferguson when I have guests. For the moment, right now, it's just you and me, and I'm loving that. We're spanning the globe. Open the door, Summer says. I might need to put on my real reading glasses. These are my professor glasses, by the way. I only wear them when I'm on air doing this. Otherwise, it's just like I look silly walking down the street. People think I'm Mr. Magoo or belong in Del Boca Vista. It's that time, isn't it? Shall we wrap up Christmas? Let's wrap up Christmas for good right now because I'm telling you, I do love Christmas, and it is one of my favorite things in life. But at a time, I have a wonderful way to get out of Christmas, moving us, and I guarantee nowhere else in the world right now on January 5th, although Tiny Christmas does run till January 12th, if you follow that belief. On the 5th, here's your Christmas song coming to you. I love you dearly, Sonoma County, greater world around us. This is your professor right here, high once again in the hills of Petacotia, playing you Christmas music in January. I love you.
Hey, the elf is here. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, your troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, your troubles will be miles away. Here we are in them olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends like this guy right here, who are dear to us. They gather near to us once more. Through the years, we'll always be together if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. So have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Christmas now. Here we go. A merry little Christmas now. Jingle, jangle.
Where are we going now, Professor? I have a plan. I always have a plan. So glad to have you. Did you like that? Let's wrap up Christmas in a really big way, and the New Year's in a really big way. Because why? It's a New Year's, baby. It's a New Year's, baby. So says Dog Boy. All right. And did you love that? Was that a good thing? Oh man, what a vocal. I know, what a voice. The voice. Singer dude. We love you, Eric. And I got to put some praise out to Eric, because we obviously had to postpone our first 22nd off White Christmas because of, he got back from New York, wasn't feeling well. Didn't have COVID, but wasn't feeling well. Gave him a week, came back on the 29th, was doing better. He sang his heart. I love it. It was a wonderful thing. I appreciate his time and effort, taking time to come into Tiny House and share our experience together. I hope you appreciate it as well. He does not have to do things. There's no money involved. It's all pay forward and love for his fans and friends, and just for what we do together. So much appreciation to him. Did I mention Mark Holly? I should have right there, because Mark Holly got called in at the last moment. And Eric said, would you mind if my friend Mark came in, Mark Holly? And I said, of course. Mark's been in there before with Sherry Phillips from Hangman's Daughter. What a great thing that was. So glad to have Mark chime in at the last moment. I had to rearrange my entire steampunk laboratory to be able to fit in another person. And I will tell you that once again, if you want to see that entire musical adventure of last week, go to my ViralMediaArt page, and that's at ViralMediaArt.com. I'm sorry, YouTube.com/ViralMediaArt. And you'll see a lot of the videos up that I have, all currently running in order. And that is the beauty of YouTube. allowing me to share my work with you readily, availably, and on demand, which I really like, because although I appreciate every single one of you here with me tonight, you know, not everybody can be here in my tiny house at one time, otherwise it'd be too crowded, you know, so I'm glad to have all of you here with me. Who's over here with me right now? Love the steampunk. You liking that, Tia? I do too. You know, I've got. You can only see so much around me, but I could show you some more. Here you go. Here, let's take another view over here for a second. My little steampunk library that I've been working on this for season 7 coming up. Gonna be a lot of fun for me. You know, new environments, new places to go. Loving the green screen world I live in. Makes my tiny house larger, 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 larger. I like that. I like that. Gives you more options, too, when you come visit me. What's going on? It's the Pee-wee's Playhouse element of my life, which is that within Tiny House Live. And you're with me. And I love each and of you for being here. What a nice man, Mark. You know what? Mark is a really nice man. He really is. Not the first thing that popped into my head, but he is a nice man. You know, and despite the fact that I wanted to get his guitar a little louder in the mix on the show that we did, because they did a beautiful version if you go back and watch the entire episode of Eric Martin's Off-White Christmas, which is on my channel, where you are watching this right now. And by the way, subscribe while you're here, please. I'm trying to build this to a monetizing proportion. I'm not that far away. With your help, I may get there. And if you watch this entire episode or watch any of the entire episodes that we have of Eric Martin's adventures in here, or any of the lovely and amazing talent of the North Bay that I get in this tiny house, and I'm going to play a couple versions tonight. I'm going to play a couple tonight just so you are aware of what's going on in the North Bay of San Francisco. It's an amazingly rich territory for talent. And as being a production manager and sound engineer for most of my career, I came across a lot of them and invited them back into my tiny world, Eric being one of them. I first worked with Eric at the Mystic Theater when he was working and opening with Y&T and Dave Metachetti. God loved Dave Metachetti and Y&T. So Eric was, you know, perfect as that situation. We talked, and we've gone back and forth for years. And of course, he came back in, and one of my original visits to Tiny House Live with Tony Stouffer that we did back last year. That's on my YouTube channel. You know what I want to do, folks? I really am, because so many of you go, how can I find this stuff? Oh, I'm great too. Thank you, T. I appreciate that. I work hard at all this kind of silly stuff. You know, the harder you work, the easier it looks, right? I tell myself as I'm sipping Sailor Jerry rum tonight, by the way, cheers, New Year's. Because I still don't have an official sponsorship by Lagunitas Brewery, which I'm working on. They're right in my backyard. Why not? Send me a case, for God's sakes. Oh, hello, Christine. You like my background? You know, it is fun. You know, I've kind of been building this little atmospheric environment that I can live in, that I can invite you in each week. And I decided for my season 7, steampunk is a really good way to start off, because where are we after all? Tiny House Live. Tiny House Live. That's right. This very moment, right now. Right now. Why? How do I know that? Watch. There you go. Case in point. Now you know where we are. Uh-oh. We're growing in proportion. Why am I called the professor? Oh, you really want to know, Tia? Wow, that's a cool story. Well, some of you may or may not know. This requires more concentration. Some of you may know that I've been involved in a musical video sync phenomenon for years called The Dark Side of Oz. Now, The Dark Side of Oz is when you take The Wizard of Oz and you play it against Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Now, this phenomenon goes back, this cultural urban legend goes back to, we'll say, the early 80s, mid-80s. And I've been one of the few people involved since the beginning of bringing this forward into time and space. Now, you asked me, so I'm telling you, and then we'll go off back to other spaces. But right now, it's the Professor's Time and Space, and it has to do with synchronicity, and it has to do everything with The Dark Side of Oz, Pink Floyd, The Wizard of Oz. I do those things, and everything I do kind of radiates from that. So it's kind of interesting question to ask me, because I use the moniker of the professor to escape the copyright issues of having to perform The Dark Side of Oz, which is The Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, legally on stage. By the professor, I can do it as a tribute. I can do it as educational experience. I do it on August 12th each year, which makes it a tribute, and I charge no money for it, so there is no monetization of it at all. It is the Professor's Dark Side of Oz. The Dark Side of Oz. You watch for that. It'll be back on you. Thanks for asking that question, Tia. That's a cool one for me because that takes me down my own personal trail of synchronicity, which your professor is huge into when you learn more about me. So thanks for asking that super question. Oh, my favorite movie, of course. Of course. Where are you? Where are you, Tony Stouffer? Tony! Tony's always invited. He's invited to come back to Tiny House. I sent an invitation out to Tiny House to Tony this year. We'll see what happens. He's always welcome in Tiny House. This is a big part of the Sonoma County archiving and history of our county, and because of that, Tony Stouffer is here. And I will tell you, before I dive into some other musical thing here in just a minute, because I do have something else for you too, that my guest next week will be Scott Goree. Now, some of you around the world may not know Scott, but some of you within our Sonoma County North Bay region will recognize Scott as one of the main producers of the Katati Accordion Festival. And for me, going back all the way to the 80s, where I worked with Magnolias, where we worked with bands like the Defectors and the Electric Toys, and we worked with the I mentioned the Defectors twice. They were that good. Amazing period in North Bay musical history. I was fortunate to be an audio engineer during that time, and that's how I first hooked up with Tony during those periods. And, as far as Eric goes, well, we met once again at the Mystic Theater, at the Y&T shows, and actually much earlier in our career as well in larger shows. But we didn't get to be buds until he actually came here and visited me and realized what it meant to be here in Tiny House Live and spend some time with your professor. Oh, my God. He knows all the way. Okay, let me back up over here because I love the questions coming in. That's what's fun for me tonight, not just rambling off to you. But Dog Boy is glad to talk to you tonight, and I'm glad to hear it. Watch the film. Well, yes, Isis. And in a nutshell, if you start The Wizard of Oz, if you start The Dark Side of the Moon exactly on the third lion roar of the intro of The Wizard of Oz and just let it roll, you will be amazed. Now, I perfected this because I've actually put the two together, melded them within my software, dissected all the vocals and volume out of The Wizard of Oz and put it into the music of the Pink Floyd. So when you hear my Dark Side of Oz, you actually hear all the dialogue from the movie as well as the music of Pink Floyd. People walk out of my shows, and I've done this 12 years now, and I'm waiting for my 13th, my baker's dozen, my lucky 13th show, which may be this August 12th. I think I have a venue. I'm just waiting for the proper time and space to say, yes, you can do this, and I will. That's not a threat. It's more of a promise than a threat. But thank you for asking all that questions. How long have I lived in my tiny house, Tia? This March, it'll be 5 years for me. 5 years for me. Coming from a home that I owned in Santa Rosa in a past life that I left. Now, here, myself, high in the hills of Petacosia, living the single professor lifestyle, availing me lots of time to devote to these kind of communications with you and building my tiny house website. And at this point in my life, I say that, but at the same time, I may need to get a real job very soon. That being said, this is a big part of what I'll always be doing. Thank you for being here. I'm always going to be here for you. I just love it. So that's, let me see here. I'm reading a few as I'm trying. I don't have a decipher this week, and I will be. From now on, I'm going to be doing that. I've got a couple munchkins who are going to come in and help me in Studio K and be the interpreter when I have guests in, maybe next week, just to help me with this fun part of what I do. But it is awesome how it syncs up, Christine, and try it. Once again, if you haven't, if you go on my website, my YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/ViralMediaArt, and look down at the bottom of all my playlists, you'll see a lot of Dark Side of Oz trailers, music I've developed, and intros and special effects that I've developed for my shows. Those are all on my YouTube channel. Have fun, as well as a lot of the playlists that I have set up just to kind of support what I do within this creative realm of making music video syncs, which I just love to do. So although I have had to purge a lot recently because I have purged a lot of copyright issues from my ViralMediaArt YouTube channel, so I can move into the future, monetize this site. All I need is 1,000 viewers. Right now I'm at 722. I'm darn close. With your help, I might get closer. And my viewing hours are, I only need like another 1,600 hours of viewing hours. I'm way over half. Give me 3 to 4 months and I can monetize this site. Now, what does that mean for us, me, you? Well, it means that I can broaden my scope. I can invite people in that I couldn't before. I can set up a super chat. I can set up special join memberships and special things that can happen for members. That's where I'm working towards in my tiny house. So I ask you tonight, if you haven't subscribed already to my Tiny House Live Viral Media Art channel that you're watching this from, please do before you leave tonight. Give me the big thumbs up. And they count all those things. That's what this all means in the bigger world. And it means I'll be able to do more for me, for you, for all the good things in life. And who knows? God knows after what did I say? 6 seasons going into my 7th? Maybe I can make some money at this. Or at least support my Sailor Jerry habit. No, I'm joking. Totally joking on that. But, all right. Love the tiny house. Thank you, Diane. Well, really, tiny house is just that. It's a very tiny house that moves into a very large scope of things. And that's why we're here. I love to know where you all are. If somebody else you want to say, a lot of you already know, I appreciate you for being here. Some of you I don't know as well yet. Make sure you've subscribed. And you're welcome to message me, PM me, and join my personal friendship base. I love it. As long as you're a real person, you're not trying to sell me Bitcoins, I'm all about you. I'm all about you. All right. I think it's about time that we dive into another musical segment, because this show's going to run right by me. And I'm pretty close to an hour tonight, and I do have an Eric Martin piece that nobody has seen yet. I've let a couple words out to a few people on the inside, to know about it. But we're going to want to wait for this. Maybe 15 minutes. I'll get that to you. It'll be toward the end of our show. It's how I keep you hanging on. You're going to want to hear this. It's funny. Yes, my friends, Eric Martin, Stark Raving Mad, Donovan Stark, Disco. All in one paragraph. Did I say that really? I did. You'll see. All right. Let me shift gears, because as you know, your professor runs a one-man. I know what I want to talk about. My new season coming up in season 7. Yes, my friends, I have some fans and friends in the Food Network, and I'm loving the contact, the inspiration. Giada, Guy Fieri, I love you. Thank you for understanding what I'm trying to do, and hopefully we'll be reaching out to do more things. In that effort, I have been inspired by these contacts to move forward into my cooking segments of Tiny House Live. That's right. And it's called The Professor Can Cook. It's a little bit of a nod toward Yan's Can Cook. If you remember the old cooking shows from the 80s, something like that, Yan Can Cook. This is Professor Can Cook. And I'm going to play for you next my very short segment. I've edited my entire 22-minute recipe down to a 3-minute segment so I can let you know what I'm doing with my kitchen. This is my bacon jam, my holiday bacon jam. Your professor does a lot of funny things in this room, as small as it is. And this being one of them. He's making bacon jam, making bacon. That's what he's doing, and that's what I'm going to do right now for you. Clue you into my bacon jam recipe as quick as I can shift my little world around to accommodate doing 3 jobs at one time. Bacon jam. Enjoy, folks. You'll get hungry on this. I know you will. I do cook better with music. I love Christmas music. Don't get me wrong. But give me a little vibe like this and a glass of Old Vine Zin, and I'll cook you up something special. Darn right I will. And that's what we are doing here. Spending the next few minutes with me. You can see right there, I've got my bacon. Look, I only wish you could smell it. I only wish you could smell it, because it's the smell-o-vision, folks. You've heard that. Okay, so I've got my bacon already crispy, good to go, because that's the longest thing to take. You want to get it to where it's just starting to get crispy. You don't want to get it wimpy. You want to get it nice and full flavored, and then you don't drain it. No, 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 my friends. You add what I would like to say is the Holy Trinity, at least in my personal book, onions to this mix. You got onions and bacon. I'll leave you in a second to guess what the third element is, the tri-element in my trinity. But for me, my friends, part of it is bacon. Now I want to show you something. I don't have a lot of tricks in my kitchen. I really don't. I really don't. Matter of fact, let me show you what I've got over here already that I'll add to my ingredients. Hang on a second. Let me do something here. Let's do this. Let's get right in there. Let's get right in there. Let me show you what's going on. There it is. All right, man. Now I've got 2 onions already diced up carefully, and I'm going to show you. Darn, I had my where'd it go? Oh, over here. I got you. I got you. I got my ground. I saved this one here for you to show you my one trick element that I use in my kitchen. I don't have a lot of gadgets. I really don't. I don't believe in gadgets. Give me a good sharp knife and a creative mind, and I'm good to go. But I have found this one invaluable. And this is for chopping things in a really clean, symmetrical, and sometimes I just want to be symmetrical, and that's what this does so well. It gives me the same slice on my onions, and I use it for peppers and stuff like that too. But you just give it one of these. Boom! Take out your aggressions. You do that for those 2 onions, and you are going to be all set with all kinds of goodness, ready to chop. Look at that, all chopped, good to go. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Yeah, there's a couple little ones that hang out. Sometimes you got to readjust your world. It's all right. It's all right. So what are you going to do? I know. You're going to add these onions right there into that bacon. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, we're moving along. You with me? You with me? Can you hear this? Oh man, bacon sizzling and jazz. Can that get any better? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Should we have a little reality check here back with me and say what? Say what? Say what? There's nothing better. There's nothing better than, well, I love it. Bacon and onions and all that mixed together in one happy world. Look at that. It's got the crispy bacon's already in there. I want to add some liquid to it pretty soon just so I can get those things so the crispies add to all the onions as they start to melt together. And that's what this recipe is all about, by the way, my bacon jam. Yes, my bacon jam. My bacon jam. It was good. It did smell good in my kitchen. It was really fun to set that whole little cooking scene up too. It showed me what I can possibly do here in the cooking world, you know. I have some more things planned. I'm actually going to make a hot and sour soup, chicken shiitake mushroom. That's my next project in here. I'm going to heat my generator up back behind me. And pull some proper levels over here on the piping in my tiny house, film noir kind of a steampunk environment. Is this working for you? You like it? I'm enjoying myself. Thank you for being here with me. Have I thanked you enough yet? Not really. Not really. Let me look over here and spend some time with you. Sounds good. It is good, Tara. I'm telling you, man, bacon jam. You put that on a cracker with some goat cheese. And you know, it's your choice whether you want to go white or red, wine with it. You can kind of use it as a tasting thing, but it is so good. It's easy to make. And you can go back and watch that entire episode, if you like, on my same ViralMediaArt YouTube channel, the entire episode, which I've edited down to 22 minutes sharp. So it fits that Food Network timing. You know, I know what I want. I watch enough Food Network. I love cooking. I do love cooking. Otherwise, I wouldn't even attempt that kind of a thing in my tiny house. So thank you for joining. And, try it. If you do make my bacon jam, please let me know how it worked for you, how you liked it, and all that. So, I know. And yes, I don't have a lot of gadgets, but it is a very practical way to slice an onion. Because, there's no craftsmanship in how to slice an onion with a knife. I know you can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can quarters. But to me, put it in a machine and go, and it's done. That's cooking when I need it to be. That's where I'm coming from with my cooking recipes at Tiny House Live. It's not necessarily about, Epicurean delights. It's more about how a quick, fast meal can be made in the professor's home in a tiny house with crock pots, George Foreman grill, a one single burner, and a creative mind. And a good glass of wine, or maybe some Sailor Jerry. All right, my friends, do try it, please, Terry. You'll enjoy it. You really will. All right. Yes, the goat cheese. It has to be goat cheese. I mean, you could do brie, you could do a camembert, but I actually like the goat cheese. It's simple, and on a good a sea salt cracker that doesn't have the proper size, not too big, one that you have to put in size you could put all at once in your mouth without making a mess. That's the cracker to go for. So there you go. There you go. That's my tip to you tonight for Professor's bacon jam and how to correctly serve it up and ingest it in your mouth. Enjoy it. All right, my friends, let me see. What else? Oh, you know what? I mentioned a little bit. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about next Wednesday coming up, because that's going to be Scott Goree coming in. Scott Goree is a club manager. He's a club owner. He's a booking agent. He's the producer of the Katati Accordion Festival, of which I just did a video for. He just uncovered in his garage 2 huge boxes full of glossy photos of bands from the North Bay and San Francisco area, and said, "Do I want these?" And I said, "Of course I want them. I am the archiver. I am the archiver. Whatever's been done in this county, I want it in my archive here. What'll happen to it when I pass, I have no idea. But I'm acquiring it, and that's the important part." And what I want to do is, he's coming to visit me next Wednesday. We're going to sit in this very same place, and we're going to open up this box of glossies. We're going to talk about, most of these glossies are signed by the band, so we are basically opening up an entire Pandora's box of musical history of the North Bay next Wednesday right here at Tiny House Live. Scott Goree's my guest, and we have a lot to talk about, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, yay Scott. Yes, yay Scott. So I'm a huge Scott Goree fan. He's an amazing guy. And let's see. My 11-year-old wanted a Foreman for Christmas, but she acted like it was her best present. It is a great present. I can do anything on my George Foreman grill. Grill marks. I can do anything from chicken to a pork chop to all the way just veggies, all right there, grilled with nice little grill marks. It's a beautiful thing in a tiny house. Very important to have all your cooking processes very concise and tight. It's all got to fit in a tiny house. Excuse me. Your professor had to do that. All right, let's see here. Let me read back a little bit because I don't want to miss conversations. I'm enjoying this over here. Mackenzie said, "I want to see you make that soup. Been on the soup kick this week." It's a easy. I'll tell you briefly before I actually get into the whole episode, which I'm going to do in the next week or two. Hopefully for one of my next Tiny House Live episodes. And by the way, I did start a Tiny House Live YouTube channel, which you can ask me about if you want to message me over here, and I'll clue you in after the show because I only have so many hands at one time in this room. Tiny House Live cooking channel. I'm serious about my cooking, and all my recipes are going over there as well as here in my ViralMediaArt YouTube channel. But yeah, it's another way for me to reach out and grow, in the new year, and that's what New Year's about, right? Moving forward, and what was my mantra for the year? Hang on, I wrote it down. Each year I develop a mantra in my world, and it's really important. You might try this in your own world as well, but I've had one sentence. As a good friend of mine once told me, if you don't know what you really want and you can't say it in one simple sentence, you really don't know what you want at all. How good is that? So I've taken his advice, Phil Salisbury, thank you much, brother, and incorporated it into my own lifestyle. And this year my mantra, and I've used things like survival by diversification. A couple years ago, that was a good one. That was a good survival by diversification. Very clearly says what I want to be doing. This year I have written down, go find your team and get to work. Go find your team and get to work. There's my mantra for the year. That shows you where I'm at this year. I need a new team in Sonoma County. Somebody to give an amazing project, something I can wrap my head around and brand and move forward into the next millennia. That's what I'm into. I'm looking at my notes here. Let's see. I've toasted Betty White. I've invited you to my Facebook groups as well as my Facebook YouTube page. We've talked a little bit about the bacon jam. Oh, I know. Yes, it's that time. Are you ready? I have waited for this moment because I as I mentioned, matter of fact, yes, I better. I make music video syncs. And when I do these kind of silly things, it's for the love of combining two worlds together to make a new reality. And that's what I love to do. It's your professor controlling time and space in the best way he knows how. And that's what I've done here. I want to preface this piece a little bit by saying that it was contributed to me by Donovan Stark. Love you, brother. Thank you for all you contribute to Tiny House Live, going back to the original Stark Raving Mad episode that we had in season 6 last year, which brought Eric Martin into the whole thing with Tony Stouffer. It was just so much fun. And so, yes, Donovan Stark owns a huge praise in my world. Someday I'll have him in my tiny house and we'll talk in depth about Stark Raving Mad, which is the band that Eric Martin joined in many years ago, which really kind of threw him forward. And of course, this is before 415 and all the worlds we know Eric to be in the middle now. But what I did get a chance to do was take a very fun piece contributed by Donovan Stark and combine that into a really fun mashup. Last week, you know what? I want to do something fun even before I dive in this, because last time Eric was in here, I asked him, Eric, I'm a huge fan of what you do, and I love everything you've done. And in fact, I really enjoy the jazz song that you put out. And he looked at me like, jazz song? What do you mean jazz song? I said, yeah, the jazz album you put out. And he looked at me sideways, which I love that when that happens in here. So I said, yeah, this one.
There's a cat that walks on the roof. There's a black cat. And his name is Jack Kerouac. Black, no tap backs. Sugar smacks. Fat cat. And when he falls off the roof, it goes splats. Tip-tap-toe. Get up somebody to not enough world, not enough world, not enough love, not enough love.
That's right, everybody. Eric Martin's jazz debut right there is taken from some sort of crazy thing I found on the internet. Be careful out there. Everything you do is on the internet and most likely will be found on YouTube. And if that's the case, I will download it, find it, and put it on Tiny House Live just for you. All right, well, I put that out there because I said to myself, all that jazz, the drum, there was some great playing in there, actually. And I know for a fact that Eric is a huge fan. It's one of the reasons why we did the titled Off-White Christmas special, because Eric's a huge fan of that vintage. He likes the Frank, he likes the Dean Martin, the Sinatra stuff, and he goes back to that. I appreciate that. And that's kind of what that whole scat thing was about, was kind of going back that way to that era, which I deeply appreciate. So thanks for having fun. Thanks for, not minding I throw these things out in this world, Eric, because, once again, whatever you do ends up on YouTube. And there you are on Tiny House Live. I hope you enjoyed that. And I've got one more for you. No. We're doing really well here with my timing. I'm going just the way I planned it. Just the way I planned it. Where are we? Tiny House Live. Tiny House Live. Yes, we are. Season 7, Episode 1 premiere. If you haven't subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please do before you go, so you can help me build this into something that's legitimate. Who doesn't love Dean Martin? Come on, man. Darn, Frank Zappa too. All the Franks, man. All the Franks that I've known have been really talented. Zappa, Sinatra. Trying to think of another Frank. Somebody help me. Help me. Give me another Frank. It'd be Frank. All right. I know. Okay. I'm leading up to it. I'm really, I was kind of holding on to this toward the end just to be able to build up to some amazing crescendo of Tiny House Live. And as you see, we've drifted off now from my steampunk background to being in space, which is something I know very well. But that's not where we're going next. Next, my friends, is something that I've had planned for you that I specially, just for you tonight, who've hung with me through all this Radio Frankenfurter. My goodness, now we're going off into a whole other area, episodes of past music. I was watching Spinal Tap the other night, so there you go. Let me do this before where we catch up over here. I love you folks for chiming in. It's really fun when I have an interpreter for me because they can read faster than I can with my big fake professor glasses. By the way, I ordered these and I never wear them anywhere off camera. This is the only place I ever wear these glasses. Don't worry about it. Nobody ever sees me like this in public. Dog boy. All right. I'm leading you on. I'm going to come back after this. We're going to come back, reevaluate why we're here in the first place. In the meantime, I guarantee you're going to be amazed. You're going to have fun. You're going to go, what the fuck, Professor? I never used that word. Why did I choose to use that right now? I'm feeling very casual, very comfortable with you. That's why I threw that magic word out there. Give me your favorite curse word. Put it right now on the chat line. Your favorite curse word right there. I just gave you mine. All right, that's silly. All right, here it comes, and we'll come back. Once again, we'll reevaluate our existence after I play this one more video from you. Somebody help me. Somebody stop me. All right, here you go. Disco, kids. Disco, kids. You're going to like this. This is good for you.
Well, from nearly 200,000 competitors competing in 1,000 discotheques throughout the world, the spotlight now centers on a tiny area in London's Leicester Square, as we ask you to greet individually the top 33 disco dancers in the world.
You got me in circles, nowhere to go. With another man, but I didn't want to know. I didn't want to stare, but I
kitty, 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 kitty. Where's my kitty? Where is my kitty? Kitty, 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 kitty. All right, there he is. Tiny House Cat, THC. Tiny House Cat, otherwise known as THC. Who said that was lame-o? Wait a minute. If there's going to be one thing you're going to find out about being in the professor's tiny house, there are going to be moments of lame-o. It's just part of the process. If you can't look at lame-o and say, well, there's one part of the spectrum and there's brilliant at the other and balance somewhere in between, that's your tiny house. That's your professor right here. Here tonight, high in the hills of Petticoat, in the midst of my steampunk laboratory, which is all set up for season 7. I'm looking forward to bringing you many more things here in this. My season this year, I'm not planning months ahead. I'm not booking months ahead. I'm booking pretty much week to week to keep it very spontaneous and very current of what's happening in my world. That's what I'm choosing to do. If I don't have a guest, then we're just going to be here and we're going to do this. And if that's good with you, that's good for me. When Eric says, hey, I got some time, brother, can I come back? I'm going to say, sure you can. And I do the same with my other good friend, Dan Durkin. Now, Dan Durkin, another very, very cool solo, as well as, of course, lead singer for the band Petty Theft, comes in here and does some fun stuff. We're going to do some fun things, too, I'm sure, in the new year. I've got a lot of things planned for a season 7 coming up for us. It's all spontaneous. If you have anything that you need to hear, you want to know, you're always more than welcome to reach out to me. How do you reach me personally? Well, my God, I'm going to tell you. Facebook.com/Tiny House Live. That is my personal direction to me at Tiny House Live. Facebook, everything we know and love in this world, right here in my tiny house. Addicted to tiny house, don't do that. No. Be addicted to eating good food and getting a good sleep. And well, of course, being with people who care about you is a good part of that recipe. And you've got that right here, Tia. So that's a cool thing. I love each of you being here. This is a great way for me to reach out. These are relationships I'm building. You're not just viewers viewing in and going, oh, I'm off to watch something else like Law and Order and CVIS, whatever. No. Tiny House Live, right here, Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. When I have guests, it's 9 o'clock plus, and when I have Eric Martin, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So go back and watch that last episode because it's a marathon. It's the longest episode I've ever done, and we got tired doing it. We had so much fun doing it. We walked out giggling, and I never have people leaving my tiny house shows without a good giggle on. A good giggle on. It's a great word. I just invented that right now for us right here, Tiny House Live. Y'all got a good giggle on. I like that. Hold it. I'm gonna get that for my sample. Hang on. Y'all got a good giggle on. Now you see, I'll be able to sample that later, and I'll be able to put that on my pad over here, and I'll be able to use that at some point, and I will. I'll bring that back in. I will. All right. You're okay with Eric's long shows? We are too. Honestly, I kept looking at the clock going, Mark kept looking at me and I kept looking at Mark going, where do we stop? And I'm going, I can't find a place to slow this wheel down. And that's kind of the way it is. I love it. I don't mind at all. And we had a great show. I invite you all to watch it. I could divide it into a 2-part series. I'll look into having Eric back. Of course I will. We maybe when he comes back from the tour in August, maybe before then. I don't know. He only lives, maybe 20 miles from your professor. So it's not like we're far apart. And actually, maybe there's some more things we might be doing closer together. I'm kind of waiting to see. He did throw out a couple of things. He mentioned August 9th at the Fillmore in San Francisco with Y&T with Dave Manichetti. Oh my God. So if I can get out there and throw some video cameras up and get a great view of Eric Martin, as well as a big acoustic, as well as, of course, Y&T, your professor will be a very, very happy man. So there you go. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what your professor thinks about. So let's see, I played you the disco. Did you like that, by the way? Come on. Did that catch you by surprise? You're going, Eric Martin, disco? Really? And once again, thank you, Donovan Stark, for bringing that forward to me. I've got one more of those pieces put aside that I haven't worked with yet. So yet again, next Wednesday, I may have another Eric Martin surprise for you if you like that little dance disco piece. with music that was recorded in 77, 78. It's amazing production value for being that early recorded, thanks to Donovan Stark. And really some of the amazing things that Stark Raving Mad did during that era. So many, many props and big hugs to Donovan being a contributor to, yes, you do need to visit San Francisco, Diane. Yes, and Hawaii too, if nobody's told you that yet. Both of those places are destinations that in a lifetime you should visit. I hate to use that word "should" because it sounds so psychotherapist, but you should do it. Just do it. All right. Let's see. Eric, next month. That's probably not going to happen. Phoenix. Yeah, I would love to say that because we have so much fun, but I know he's got some tours planned. And maybe there's some processes we're working on that I can contribute to. We'll see how all this pans out for Eric Martin and the Professor and Tiny House Live and all that in the future. We'll see. You know, the world is full of promises and the world is full of potential. And that's kind of what the show tonight is about, is it's a new year, baby. It's a new year, baby. And how are you going to use it? And what are you going to do to change your life? And what are you going to do to move forward and progress individually and personally on this planet? Forget about all the nonsense and static around you with the COVID stuff and what's going on with Russia and all this nonsense in the world. What are you going to do in your personal world that you can control, that you can move forward to bring a positive place in this world? Thank you, Betty White, for doing that with animals and making us laugh as much as you have. I love each and every one of you individually for being here. Boy, I sound like I'm wrapping the show up. And maybe I am. When I look at the clock over there, I'm about that time. I think I'm just going to wish you all the best of everything in this world. And please, if you haven't subscribed, do. If you haven't given me a thumbs up, please do. Do what you need to do to this world to make it a better place. That's the world I'm leaving with you tonight. That's the word I'm leaving with you tonight, is make this a better place for not only yourself, but all those people around you. And if you can't understand how to do it, here I'm going to give you the formula right here. Here's the formula. Here's how you do it. Right here, it's all written on the wall. You see it? Thanks for being everybody. Tiny House Live.
Tiny House Live. Tiny House Live.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you here with me tonight.
Yeah, it is good to have you with me tonight.
And any night, you know what I mean? All right, my friends. Kisses, love you. Thanks for being here. Tia, Kelly, Christine, Diane, love you. Tara, hello, dear. Going down my list. Isis, I love you all. Kelly, hello, Kelly. Thanks for big loves to all of you for chiming in and really just giving me your time and your effort. Make sure you memorize everything that's on the wall right now. It's super important because there will be a test at the end of this show for all the answers to these questions that you're seeing right there. It's only chemistry. Don't worry about it. You can do these things. It's mere physics. It's mere physics and control of time and space. Something that your professor is
very good at.
Well, he tries.
Yeah, he does.
Good night, everybody. I love you dearly. Tiny House doing its thing. Doing its thing. Fading out. With our Tiny House Live and the steampunk environment that I'm involved in right now. I'm enjoying bringing it to you. So feel free to join me on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock and bring in and say hello and bring your friends and do all those good things in life to make yourself a happy person in life.